What's happening, guys? I got asked quite a while ago if I could do a quick comparison between Shapton Pro and the Venev Diamond stones. These are completely different animals. Obviously, Shapton Pro is aluminum oxide, as far as I know, with a ceramic base or a ceramic binder, and Veneeve are diamond resin stone. I'm not sure what the vitrified bond is that they have in here, but they're two totally completely different type of beasts. However, this person asked if I could do a side-by-side comparison, so I'm going to go ahead and run through that. I'm going to try to do some microscopic shots. Not sure how well my microscope's going to behave. I've bought two and both of them seem to do a lot of video tearing. We'll see how it goes. I'll do the best I can and try to produce some pictures that are usable. This Veneeve stone, you can rate it with JIS or FEPA. I mean, there's 1,000 different grit ratings you can go against. I'm going to go with what the Veneeve website actually states, which this first side is 100 and the other side is 120. For my Shapton Pro, I've got a 120 stone. I'm going to compare both the 100 and the 120 against this stone just to kind of get a ballpark figure on where these two relate. I'm going to be sharpening this Benchmade Barrage. I've got a real nasty chip in it from where I used it at work and hit some electrical current. So it took a nice little bite out of the edge. So we'll not only see the removal of this chip, but we'll also be able to compare these two stones against each other. I'm not going to do the full process. I'm going to show you guys the complete chip removal, but I'm not going to do the full process of each stone step by step. I'll do a quick, 10-15 second shot of each one as I go through them, and then try to show you the microscope shots at the end. I'm going to start on the Shapton 120 first. I'm going to do one side completely with the Shapton stones, and then I'm going to do the other side completely with the diamond stones. First things first is I'm going to get this chip out. Not real sure how this is going to work in terms of switching stones, but when I decide to switch sides, I guess I'll just bring in the other stone and we'll try to we'll try to rotate this out as best we can. So the last time I sharpened this knife, I believe it was on the Edge Pro. I laid the knife back quite a bit. I did have to enhance the choil. The choil actually started way back here. I had to bring it forward and up. If you don't do that, the stop pin rests right up against it here. So if you start creating that plunge line too deep in this area, as you close the knife will actually start to hit the frame. I've done that on a 940 before, so if you ever decide you're going to enhance your choil on a Benchmade, be aware of that stop pin. It can create a problem if you go too deep. So it looks like my grinding is pretty close to being right on the money. Now I can go about grinding this chip out two ways. I can either just sharpen like I normally do and just go through the whole procedure. That will eventually dig into the steel past where that chip is. Or I can actually elevate the knife quite high like this, grind out that chip completely, and then reset the bevel. Considering how deep this chip is, I don't think that's going to be necessary. I'm just going to sharpen like I normally do. It's a little bit of a longer process doing it this way, but I don't have to reset the bevel doing it. Now, my angle may be a little more elevated than where I sharpened it on the Edge Pro. I sharpened what Benchmade had, and I want to say it was quite acute, sitting around 14 or 15 degrees. So my natural hand motion may elevate that just a little bit. This knife, for the most part, has a pretty straight edge right until you get to the tip, and then you get a pretty steep bevel, or a pretty steep belly. And I do remember one side was ground a little differently from the other, so where the swedge is, it created a little bit of a funky hiccup in the tip. It's just an aesthetic thing, but something to be aware of. So I've got this side apexed. I've got a really nice burr going on. I'm gonna go ahead and flip stones and flip sides so I can grind from the other side. So we're gonna have a little stone swap in here. I'm gonna start on the 100. Again, I'll show you guys some close-up pics of both of these just to kind of compare. I've got my water here. I remember talking about this in the last video. Putting just a drop of dish soap in your water will help it spread across the entire stone without pulling up in different areas. Check my grinding, make sure I'm hitting the bevel. Looks pretty close. Yeah, that's pretty much on the money. So still got some work to do. So we got the microscopic shots of the 120 Shapton and the 100 Veneeve. I'm going to go back over this 120 briefly and do a few more shots just to compare it, because again, I'm not sure what these grits are closer to as far as the Shapton Pro stones go, so I want to compare both of them to the 120. And as you can see, just putting water on it, you see how it pulls up. That's where I was saying just a drop of dish soap will break that tension and the water will cover the whole stone. Neat little trick. Next up, I got the Shapton 320 and the Veneeve 5040 and 2014 micron. Again, I'm not sure which one or which side this is going to be comparable to. Looking at the previous microscopic pictures, I would say the 120 Shapton is spot on with the 120 Veneeve. The scratches are really comparable. I'd say damn near spot on. I'm not going to go through the whole process of this sharpening. I'm just going to get you guys started, because this is going to be a little longer than ordinary, so I don't want to bore you. I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to the 280 side. So this is the Veneeve 700. Just go over it real quick and get some shots of it. 280, looking at it under the microscope, pretty close to the 320. Couldn't really tell with my limited scope if the scratches were deeper, but they look pretty close to me. We'll see how this one compares. The Shapton 1000 grit. For Veneeve, this one is a 2.5K. It may be comparable to the next Shapton stone as opposed to this 1K. Shapton 2000 grit. We are down to the final two stones, both 5Ks. This, of course, being the Veneeve. It's interesting, both of them are a pink, purple kind of color. Not that that makes any difference. This is the Shapton 5000 grit. This is before stropping, so this side right here, this is what was done on the Shapton 5K. And we're just gonna look at it and eyeball it. Difficult to get the scratch pattern to show up because it's so bright. You see a little bit down there in the base. And this is the 5K Veneeve side. Again, got a little funkiness going on in the back. I might need to go over both of them. Both of them polished up really nice. Just gonna do a quick strop. This is white compound on leather. Not sure if a cut test is even relevant, but one side done on Shapton, one side done on Diamond. $71. $97. $102. Give you guys a final shot of this bevel. The Bess C score came out to an average of 90. You can see in the tip where the Edge Pro versus my hand sharpening has a difference. $154 takes a fantastic polish. Well, I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, as always, leave them down below. I appreciate you guys watching. Y'all have a good one.